If your home has been sitting on the market and you're starting to wonder what's wrong, it's usually not bad luck. It almost always comes down to three things. And what sellers don't realize is which one is working against them. In real estate, there are three key things that get a home sold. That is price, condition, and location. And what sellers don't realize is that you don't actually have to have all three things right. You just have to have two of them right. And if you only have one, buyers are going to pass almost every time. The first thing we're going to talk about is location. Location is the one thing out of all of these that you really can't change. It is what it is. And it can be super important to some buyers. This could be school district, proximity to work, proximity to shopping and grocery stores, or restaurants, and just the lifestyle that that buyer is looking for. Even the overall feel of the area can be very important to buyers. Buyers are basically forming an opinion of your neighborhood, of your community before they even walk through the door. So if your location is great, that is a huge advantage. And if it's maybe not the best, the good news is you have two other levers you can play with. Condition is what buyers experience when they first walk in your home, or sometimes even when they drive by it. It's a feeling that the buyer gets as they enter, and they see, is it clean? Is it light? Is it well maintained? Does it maybe need some love? Buyers are either going to emotionally connect with your home or they're going to start mentally deducting from it, depending on the condition. And I want to be really gentle about this because a lot of sellers have been in their home a really long time and they have raised families there, they've made memories, and that home is such a special part of their life to them that it's really hard to basically change their mindset to see what a buyer experiences when they walk into their home, because the buyer doesn't have all those memories of those homes, those feel good moments. And so sometimes it's really hard for sellers to put themselves in the buyer's position. And that's not being critical, that's just being human. Price is the lever that you have the most control over. It's the one thing that can compensate for the other two. If your home's not in an ideal location, the price can offset that. If your home hasn't been updated, well, then the price can create an opportunity. Where sellers get really stuck in regards to price is pricing the home for what they want, not what the market is telling them. And the market always tells the truth. So if we start a little too high and we're not seeing things happen, then it will do you no good to just let it sit at that price because the market is telling you something. But where sellers get really stuck is they want to price for what they want rather than what the market is telling them. And the market does not lie. I want to pause for a second here and just talk about what we are seeing in the market and kind of what the issue is with some listings and the mindset shift that needs to happen with some sellers. So, one of the biggest challenges right now is sellers believing that it's 2022. And it's not. We are in a more balanced market now. So there's sellers that are putting their house priced, way over than what the market is really accepting right now. Or they put it on kind of high, and just to see what the market does, but then they're not willing to adjust it down or not willing to adjust it down enough. And I understand a home is a very personal thing. It's where you've made memories, but we cannot tie those emotions to the price. Purely, the market responds to price, condition, and location. I actually saw this play out recently with some acquaintances that listed with another agent. They had a great, desirable location, beautiful lot, a great growing location within our community. And it should have been a huge advantage. But unfortunately, when they listed their property, the home had not really been updated in probably 20 years. A lot of finishes really dated that house. And then there was some really bold paint choices, as well as just really cluttered. And so when it came on the market, they priced it thinking that their location could see them through and justify this like overpriced position. And it didn't. It's really kind of sad in this situation. The home sat, and actually, it didn't go under contract for over 8 months. Um, Over time, they started to improve the condition, and then they would do some price changes here and there, but they weren't big enough to compensate for that. About 8 months later, they wound up reducing the price of the home significantly. It was, I think, $70,000 less than they originally put it on the market for. And it really should have been listed for that price originally when they listed it. And do you know what? That house went under contract within a month. People don't really realize this because so much time has gone on, and is that the whole situation was avoidable. They basically sold their home for 78,000 less than their original listing price. That is a huge amount, not only of money but of time. The market rejected that home, and their listing didn't have to go that way. If they had put it on the market with condition improvements or put it on the market at a better price point, then that house would not have set for almost 3/4 of a year. You know, that's a long time to have your home open and listed for buyers. So if you are a seller or thinking about selling your house, just know that you do not have to be in that same situation. It does require you to be honest with yourself and honest about your property and not letting your emotions get in the way of being objective about your home. This is especially true when it comes to price and condition and the prep work for condition before you put it on the market and deciding on a price point, or if you were already on the market, being willing to make those adjustments as you experience what the market is telling you. So, what actually works? If you have location and condition, you can push that price. If you have location and price, buyers are often willing to overlook condition. If you have condition and price, you can create demand in an area that might be a little bit tougher to sell in. But the pattern is always 2 out of 3. You got to have the 2 out of the 3 to sell your home. And if you have 3 out of 3, lucky you. Another thing too, if your home is on the market, is just be willing to pick up the phone and talk to your agent. Yes, they should be approaching you when your home is just sitting and there's not a lot of activity. But be willing to have that conversation and be open to their professional recommendation. That oftentimes will create better results. If you are thinking about putting your home on the market and you're in the Oklahoma City area, and you just want a real honest understanding of how your home compares with the market, that's exactly what I am here for. There's no pressure at all, no sales pitch, just an honest conversation. Reach out and let's talk. We can grab some coffee or just a phone call, and we can just kind of talk through where the market's at and how your home compares, and what levers you might need to be preparing for before you even get it on the market so that you have the best foot forward when you get listed. If this video is helpful, I'd love for you to subscribe. I aim to post about 3 times a month, and most of the videos are going to be just real estate guidance or local guidance for the Oklahoma City area. And then comment below on which one of these key points you think is the hardest to get right: location, price, or condition. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks again for watching. I appreciate you sticking with me through this video, and we'll see you in the next one.